Hi, this is Paula Lakello. Welcome to the first class meeting for EDLS 619. This is Curriculum and Academic Plan, Segment 1 for August the 30th, 2016. Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to talk about curriculum, and we're going to explore the definitions, the very first thing. Chances are, when you had to provide your own definition of college curriculum, it may change based upon the reading and what we talk about today. We find the definition of college curriculum varies depending upon the stakeholder group being polled. Stakeholder groups tend to view the curriculum and its components through their own lens. This limits discussions regarding revisions and developments. Seldom do they integrate the elements of curriculum, and if they do, then it's usually the faculty who link the courses offered with seat time and credit. Second, colleges and universities emphasize the credit hour. They have been doing so since the Carnegie Unit was first introduced into secondary schools in 1908. And third, curriculum does change, both then and now. In the past, it has typically focused on changing the structure, because all disciplines have that in common. It includes changing course calendars, course offerings, and graduation credit. Now with the focus today on student learning and outcomes, we see an increased interest and emphasis on curriculum by all stakeholder groups. Overall, curriculum, as much as research in universities, is about knowledge production, not knowledge transmission. It should be about construction because that's what is needed in a knowledge society. Not just content, but skills that allow us to think hard about content and problems. Curriculum as an academic plan is proposed by Latica and Stark in their textbook. It has clearly identifiable elements that serve the diversity in the programs as well as the diverse student population and their needs. We see that there is not a one-size-fits-all solution for curriculum, but it tends to be adaptable to the field of study, the students, the instructors, the institutional goals, etc. It also encourages a process of deliberate decision-making. This puts students' educational needs rather than subject matter first. This is a duplication of Figure 1.1, Academic Plans in the Socio-Cultural Context from Latica and Stark. Within the circle, you see the 8 essential elements that Latica and Stark have identified in their academic plan. These elements are, for the most part, self-explanatory, but will be covered in greater detail through various chapters in the Latica and Stark textbook. On pages 4 and 5 in your book, they identify these 8 essential elements as purposes, content, sequence, learners, instructional processes, instructional resources, evaluation, and adjustment. Many people, at least in states, think of curricula as structures, courses or programs of study that students follow, but that definition is limiting. Although a curriculum is typically composed of predetermined instructional activities intended to deliver particular content, for example, knowledge, skills, or dispositions, curricula are more fruitfully conceptualized as sites of interaction among instructors, learners, and the content to be learned. It is this interaction of individuals and curricula that results in learning. Without interactions, a curriculum approximates a learning experience, but is not commensurate with it. Why? Because a variety of contextual factors influence the outcome of any educational experience. These are noted on the left, where you see external influences and internal influences. You see in the foreground the socio-cultural influences that animate courses and programs. Students are the most obvious. Prior knowledge, goals, motivations, expectation, needs, skills, and capacities all come into play. Part of the internal influences includes the organizational, institutional, departmental, and program resources, as well as assessment practices, the reward systems, and so on. All of these have an impact on what is planned and how it is delivered. When you look at the external influences in the top left-hand corner, you recognize that there are prevailing social and cultural forces that further shape what happens in interactions among instructors, learners, and content. Norms for classroom behavior, beliefs about what can be accomplished and by whom, labor market trends, evolutions in fields and disciplines, changes in government policies, and a host of other factors can insert themselves into curricular plans. The lines and arrows on the academic plan indicate the process flow and interactions for each element in the academic plan diagram. So, what are the advantages of an academic plan? Here are 5 that are suggested by Latica and Stark. First, it promotes clarity and identifies potential influences, constraints, and affordances. Second, it's applicable at all levels. The plan can be incorporated at the course, the program, or institutional level. Third, it provides a heuristic for curricular planning and research. It includes elements of a plan and variables for investigation. It's not a cookbook approach. Fourth, it encourages attention to student learning by focusing on their needs. And finally, fifth, it suggests a dynamic curriculum development process by incorporating evaluation and adjustment processes in an ongoing cycle. So, for Activity 1, please take time to compare and contrast the general education requirements at Lynchburg College per the link provided. Compare Lynchburg College with a Virginia College University of your choice. And submit your findings in bullet or chart form at the designated location on Moodle 2. Following this, please return and complete Activity 2 for this segment. Hi, welcome back. For Activity 2 in this segment, please complete the activity by watching the YouTube video Analysis of Bowdoin College Curriculum and post your comments on the designated forum labeled as PowerPoint 1 Post Activity 2 on Moodle 2. The video is posted on the forum for your convenience, as well as guidelines for posting your comments. Following this, please proceed to segment 2 of this week's PowerPoint. Thanks, and I look forward to seeing you in just a few minutes on segment 2 of this week's presentation.